Hello wise women, welcome to my channel. I am Wanka and this is Women Wellness, a place for every woman who wants to take back control of her life, understand her body, and heal herself naturally. If this is your first time joining, then welcome. If not, welcome back. So now I'm doing part 2. If you're wondering what's going on, I did a video on how to heal your womb after a miscarriage or child loss. I spoke about, the emotional, spiritual, mental things that you need to do in order to heal. And then I also wanted to speak about the physical. So I did also share part of my fertility journey or, part of my experiences with pregnancies and pregnancy loss. And it got a bit long. So I decided I was going to break it up and do a part 1 and a part 2 so that you're not sitting through, because it is a little bit of a heavy content as well, I think, especially for women who this experience is still very raw. So I decided I was going to break it up. So go watch part 1, which talks about how to honor your baby, honor your pregnancy, honor your womb, how to heal, how to get closure, how to work through the grief, the emotions of anger, bitterness, resentment, regret, and all of that. Go and watch part 1 and then you can come join in part 2. So in part 2, it's more about the physical healing of your womb. We've talked about everything else in part 1. Now we want to focus on the physical healing of your womb after a pregnancy loss. The first thing that I would say is avoid intercourse until you are healed, you get the go-ahead, or until you feel okay. So some women will say, I had a miscarriage 6 weeks ago, but I'm just not ready to be with my partner like that. I still feel, a lot womb-wise, and that's okay. Honor that and take your time. But I do think just avoiding intercourse for 6 weeks is a good idea. So secondly is, how do we regulate your hormones? When you got pregnant, your hormones were operating at like an all-time high because there's a new human being formed. And once you lose that pregnancy, then your hormones are like, what's going on? I mean, this happens even just after normal delivery at the end of 9 months, but there is a bit of a shocker when it's before time, because your body was anticipating certain things to happen before certain hormones had to start coming down or being regulated. So one of those is prolactin. Prolactin is the one that helps you produce breast milk, and that was on the rise because you were making a baby who was going to need breast milk. Now, prolactin at this particular time and when you're breastfeeding is fantastic. We need that hormone. However, when there is that child loss, so that pregnancy loss, prolactin levels can still remain high, and high prolactin levels will affect the production of hormones like estrogen and progesterone, and can suppress ovulation and can affect your whole menstrual cycle as well. So regulating your prolactin will help restore a normal period. And also for your mental health, it's very important that your estrogen and progesterone levels are regulated, because those actually contribute to our mental health as women. And if you are going through a pregnancy loss or have gone through pregnancy loss, then mental health is already an issue that needs to be taken care of from the get-go. How do we also manage your mood, your sleep, the anxiety? How do we manage all of this? Vitality and Harmony hormone support. These 2 products will help in balancing your hormones, particularly lowering the particularly lowering prolactin and and regulating estrogen and progesterone, but also managing and buffering stress against the body physically, but also mental and emotional stress, and helping you get better sleep. Now, I've just mentioned sleep. Why is sleep important? Because now I'm getting to how do we rehabilitate your ovaries. Make sure that your ovaries are functioning well so that you have a good menstrual cycle, but how do we also make sure that your ovaries are functioning well so they're producing good quality eggs? Because whether you now want to conceive again or not, we need to make sure that ovulation is happening well. Remember, I talked about prolactin suppressing ovulation, which can lead to period problems or absent period or just crazy periods, all of that. So melatonin is your sleep hormone. This is created when you sleep. The more you sleep, the more melatonin you're going to make. Melatonin is found in the fluid that surrounds the follicle, or what will be the egg. So it's a powerful antioxidant. So getting you to sleep, which Vitality will help you get sleep and restful sleep and reduce that anxiety as well. Getting you to sleep means that you're making more melatonin, which also means that we're also improving your egg health simply by falling asleep. If you experienced a lot of blood loss during your pregnancy loss, nutrition is going to be very important for you. Now, I'm not trying to make this video long as well. You can download the food chart that will be in the description box down below, and that will take you to a full food chart of the foods that you can eat for every phase of your menstrual cycle. And that's a really good place to start as well. And I'll put that in the link down below, in the description box down below. The other thing is that if you did have a lot of blood loss or experiencing heavy periods after that, then we need to make sure that your iron levels are good, because iron is very, very important for having good quality blood, but also improving the nutritional status of your womb. It's very, very important. It's very important for fertility. So I know that you probably are still dealing with loss and are not looking and may not be looking to conceiving right away, but when you start healing your body that way, the earlier the better. But also low iron levels can lead to anemia, and not only that, but then also depression. So women who are anemic have a higher risk of being depressed. So it's not just about healing your womb to try and conceive, but it's about taking care of your body post-pregnancy loss. That's what we're focusing on right now. So 2 products that you can take for this to improve your blood quality, make nice, rich, nutritious blood, or feed your blood all the good stuff, and then also heal your womb and improve your pelvic circulation so that you're toning your uterine muscle, your uterus, and improving blood flow or regulating blood flow, are Iron Woman, our blood building tonic, and Fortify, our womb cleansing tea. It is cleansing, but it's also healing, and has red raspberry leaf in it. That's one of the main ingredients, and red raspberry leaf is an excellent uterine tonic. So if you have had a history of losing pregnancy because there was an issue with blood flow to your uterus or the tone and strength of your uterus, then using red raspberry tea or fortified womb cleansing tea is one of those that will help in improving the tone and health of your uterus, but also because it's very nutritious. So our womb cleansing tea has like high nutritional content. It's like got superfood herbs in it that are really good and very nutritious for our womb health, trying to conceive or not, but particularly healing the womb post-pregnancy loss. And then there's yoni steaming. I spoke quite a little bit, actually quite a lot about yoni steaming in the last video about vaginal health. In this particular instance, now this is something that I really wish I knew before allowing for a DNC to be done on me. DNCs, when they clean you out after a miscarriage or whatever reason they'll need to decide that they need to clean you out. Because in my case, that procedure somehow, I don't know what was done there, but when I woke up from DC, it should not be painful. Like, it's kind of like, yeah, it's scraping, but it should not be. You should not be in extreme pain when you come out of it. But I was. I remember the first thing that I mumbled when I woke up was like my back. And from that time, I started having a lot of pain in my lower back and in my legs. So when I would stand, I'd feel like heavy in the heels of my feet, like as if my whole, upper body's about to collapse through my legs and out through my feet. That is what it felt like, and I had to do physio for a while. Unfortunately, that was not the only thing, because I did start to notice like my lower belly, like my abdominal area, it started to protrude a little bit, and I just thought, nah, I need to do more sit-ups. But then I did figure out, and that's when we picked up that there was adenomyosis. So when we follow back, because this was, I have scans and stuff from pregnancies, it was never picked up before, and that is something that would have been picked up in previous scans. We zeroed it down with my homeopath, that it was triggered by that DNC, that cleaning out. Something was done, it was not done properly, and well, it triggered adenomyosis. So, like I was saying, I feel like if I'd known some of these things, I wouldn't have jumped, or I wouldn't have allowed, or probably delayed the DNC. So like yoni steaming, you don't do it during an active miscarriage or when you're bleeding. But if you had a lot of mangled stuff, right? If you had a lot of stuff come out during your miscarriage, you can wait until you stop bleeding, and then you can do yoni steaming. And yoni steaming will help with dealing with blockages and all that stuff, and you will see some of those things come out. Again, fortified tea, drinking that will improve circulation in your uterine area and will help you expel leftover things. But again, this is me giving just health information. This is not medical advice, but these are one of the ways that you can heal your womb post-pregnancy loss. But do make sure that you do go for a scan and make sure that everything has been evacuated and has come out, so that you don't have to go through the traumatic experience of a DNC. Also, it helps to reduce, the yoni steaming helps to reduce the risk of infection as well. So doing the steaming after you've stopped bleeding. And finally, this one is a little bit of a trigger for some women, but taking a prenatal supplement. So I know it can be really heavy to say, I'm having to take a prenatal now when I've just lost a baby. But the thing with taking the prenatal is that there are all the nutrients. So specifically, I'm talking about a prenatal that has vitamins and minerals. So if you're buying a prenatal, it must say multivitamin and mineral prenatal supplement. The reason being is that when you take that, it has all the vitamins and minerals that you need to replenish your body. You take it obviously to build up your body while you're pregnant, but even post, because there are some processes that end up you end up in a space of nutritional depletion, because stress on its own is a nutritionally depleting experience. But then now you've lost a child, your body was building up and all of that. So taking a prenatal multivitamin and mineral supplement is very important. So in terms of physically healing your womb, that is what I would recommend, and that is what I work on. if you have gone through pregnancy loss, or you know somebody's gone through pregnancy loss, and you feel like they're not coping or you're not coping, and you need to go on this journey of healing your womb post-pregnancy loss, and just healing yourself post-pregnancy loss, then you are welcome to reach out. You can book a consultation with me, or you can sign up for my Stemwell Natural Fertility Program, and I'll work with you according to what you need in this time. My job is to literally hold space for you as you heal and as you find your way and find your footing again post-pregnancy loss, but also just if you want to get pregnant again soon. So you're welcome to do that. I'll leave all the links down below. And the last thing that I wanted to share, it is part of part 1, but I left it until the end just to wrap all of this nicely. So in part 1, I read that ode to motherhood that I read, and in this one I want to talk about speaking life. I mentioned in part 1 that your womb is the point of convergence, where the mind, spirit, and body and all parts of your existence come together. Right? The womb is the portal which brings the unseen into the seen, and it's so important for you to not lose that hope and to not lose that idea that even though this life didn't become visible in this realm, or didn't walk this earth, right? This baby never made it all the way. Doesn't mean that your womb is still not that. Doesn't mean that your womb is not that place. It still is that place, and it still needs to be acknowledged. So one of the exercises that I do in the Stemwell Natural Fertility Program is that we work with the womb, like speaking life back into the womb. And it can be something as simple as just saying, my womb is whole, my womb is healed, my womb is capable of carrying life. And it can just be as simple as that. But what I'm saying is, I want you to speak life to your womb, and you can literally just form that triangle, hold it over your womb, over your abdomen, and speak life. Even if you feel like, my womb is just not holding on to life, speak life into it. My womb is capable of carrying life to full term. Speak that life into your womb, and that is one of the ways that you can start to heal your womb, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually as well. So that when you eventually decide that you want to have another baby, you have healed part of the trauma, because your womb carries memory. You have rewritten that traumatic experience. All right. So that's it for this video and part 2. I hope that it served you well. I hope that it brought some hope and healing to you. I am interested to know if you've tried anything that I've mentioned, or anything that you're curious about or would like to know more about, then in the comment section down below. And of course, share it with another woman that you feel needs to hear this or learn from it, especially those who are going through child loss, have experienced child loss, and are really having a hard time just getting over the hill. So I will appreciate it, and they can always reach out to me. Let's continue to hold space for all mothers, regardless of how their motherhood journey has been. And until next time, take care and be well.